I'm Sonia Azad. Welcome to The Shift. Real connection, healthy conversation as we navigate life's changes and challenges together. Thanks to our friends at CryoCon for making this podcast possible. Hair and makeup generously provided by Glam House Collective. Hi, I'm Sonia Azad. Welcome to The Shift. Today, we've got a big treat for you. I am joined by Griff Long, world-class athlete and president of Upgrade Labs. Griff, it is so good to see you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
So there's a lot that we have to talk about in terms of recovery and biohacking. We're going to get to all of that, but this podcast is called The Shift. And I'd like to know if there is a standout shift in your life that kind of moved you into this direction of where you are today.
100% shift. How much time do you have? Let me say this. So to answer your question, I spent the first 15 years of my career in the transportation industry. You know, I was a downhill ski racer, transitioned to endurance athlete doing Ironman triathlons. I had 15 years in the transportation industry that were amazing. And I learned so much, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. However, I always felt something was missing. And then about 7-10 years into my career, I was introduced to Jack and Susie Welch. Maybe you've heard of them before, but Jack was big in GE. Susie was the former chief editor of Harvard Business, the business book, I guess, or news. In any event, I became instantly intrigued by them and their leadership, and I got to work on a really cool project with them. They became available to me, you know, through email, phone calls. Even I remember while playing a round of golf, I was able to have access to them. So I was grateful for them. And they gave me some advice that really changed my life forever. But I'm not even going to tell you that yet, Sonia, because I got to set the stage. So as I mentioned, I was a downhill ski racer turned endurance athlete. And whether it be business or sports, every day I get up, I'm like, what am I going to do to be 1% better every day? Whether competing for my team as a leader or a triathlete, it didn't matter. I was constantly seeking and learning more. So I decided as a triathlete, I need to know what the coaches know. So I went to the USA Triathlon and got their certification. That night, I remember to this day that we were up till about 4 a.m. We were talking in the lobby about longevity, about training, about mindset. And it hit me that day as like, well, how do I find a job that I can be surrounded by these people and chase the passion, which was health and wellness?
How long ago was this?
This was almost 20 years ago now.
Okay. Yeah. So we've been doing this. We've been in this game for about the same amount of time.
Yeah. So I had that epiphany, and I went back and I thought about, okay, how do I do this? Call Jack and Susie, and they gave me the best piece of advice: chase your passion, find the company that shares your mission, visions, and values, and go after them. So I looked, and all of a sudden I see this company called Equinox. I'd never heard of it. I went over there and just checked it out, and this was much different. So I wrote a letter to Scott Rosen, the president of Equinox. 3 months later, I was leading a division for that company in an industry, while I knew as an athlete, but not from the other side. And I was able to build my team from scratch, some rock star leaders that are now leading some of the components of the entire Equinox company.
Well, and not just Equinox. I mean, you've been with Orange Theory, Pure Barre, Soul Cycle. You're a CrossFit coach. As you mentioned, a USA Triathlon coach. I mean, you have really kind of extended yourself into all these different branches. I don't know if that's an easy thing to do. When I say it or read it, to me, it's extremely difficult.
I think it comes down to your ability. What type of leader are you? It's easy to learn a new business. It's a lot harder to learn how to make emotional connections and build trust with teams. So I spent my time surrounding myself with people that I trusted, that shared the same visions. If there was an area that I wasn't good at, I wanted the person in the room that would help me in that. So my success is not, my drive is one thing, but my success is by the people I've surrounded, that circle I have, and I'm sure you have a circle, but I contribute it to just being around great people. And it all started with that advice from Jack and Susie.
It's incredible. And thank you for sharing the story kind of behind the story rather than just answering the question. As a health journalist, I get this question a lot from people, especially at the beginning or early stages of their fitness or wellness journey. They ask, how do I stay motivated? How do I stay disciplined? You mentioned kind of that inner passion and the drive. What would you say to people who ask that question?
My perspective is it's so different because depending on who you are, I need to know your goals in order to answer that question. So I said, what are you looking for? So if you come to an Upgrade Labs, the first thing I'm asking, what does the perfect morning look like for you? How do you wake up and feel? Do you have the energy you need? Are you at the right feeling good inside? And we focus on Upgrade Labs, not the outside in, but the inside out, because we want to help you get to where you want to be based on where you want to go. So Sonia, I know you're into yoga, but not everybody's into yoga. So what about the people who don't like go to the gym or afraid of the gym? I want to know why you're here. And I teach the team, and we focus on building an emotional connection with every client so that we can understand where they want to go and help them get there. So it's almost in some cases, hey, I had a lady that I met at Upgrade Labs last week. She says, I have chronic knee pain. I've never been able to walk upstairs. I brought her over to our PIMP blanket, and I put it on a protocol, and I put it on for 10 minutes, and I said, I'm only going to do one. She got up and walked, and she's like, is this real? It was the first time she didn't feel pain. I gave her the whole speech on inflammation, how you do that. So I want to get people to be them best selves and feel great in the mornings. That's where I start. And I was like, once I find out what your why is, then I'm going to say how dedicated or how committed to you are this, because we're going to help you on the journey if you're up for it.
Yeah. And I let's just dive right in, right? What is Upgrade Labs for people who may not know? I mean, you guys have locations all over. I saw Austin, near Orlando. I saw Calgary, just kind of everywhere. And there's more to come.
Yeah, currently we have 9 locations open across North America. That's US and Canada. We have 20 more sold. And I guess I would say how I explain, we want to give you time back. We want to use data and technology to streamline the process. We want to use AI. So we've taken all those components to customize or write a prescription to help you achieve the goals you want. So we can do and support cardiovascular with our AI bike, strength and conditioning training through our AI cheat machine, as we call it. And, depending on who you are, you may or may not. I'm a runner, I'm a triathlete. I'm less focused on the cardio and the weight training side of the business. But I've been blown away by things I didn't know when I got to Upgrade Labs, like the PIMP blanket I just told you about, the cryo chamber, the biocharger, oxygen trainer. All of those tools are designed to specifically help you on that journey. And I'll say one thing that Dave Asprey, who is the Asprey Group, who is the owner and creator of Upgrade Labs, taught me. We go into every day with maybe it's lack of energy, lack of pain. A lot of this is driven by inflammation. And I didn't really understand inflammation, but if I want to perform at 100% as a triathlete, If I go into a race with inflammation, my energy system is taking away that 100% and maybe putting 20% into my knee that has been blown out 4 times. So if I can give tools to help reduce inflammation and target those areas, then not only can I perform better as an athlete, but more importantly, I can show up for my kids. I have more energy level. I have more time to be in the present with the team. So that's a long answer to a short question.
No, I mean, I think it's perfect, though. I preach on sort of functional fitness all the time, and you have given a perfect example of that. And it's funny. So the PEMF or PEMF therapy that you're talking about, I was doing reports on that back in 2019. And so are you finding that when people come in, do they know about this stuff or are they learning it for the first time? And why has it become so popular, you think, now?
Yeah, I think one, the technology has advanced. The hard part and the reason a lot of people haven't heard about these is just the costs. There's the PEMF blanket. If you want the version we have that is medical grade, it's like $15,000-$20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And all our equipment is medical grade. So we're buying the best in class equipment. So with that, you're going to get more of a feeling. I can tell you, Sonia, the first day, like you, I tried the PIMP blanket. I laid in it and I said, stop, this is hurting my knee. And they said, no, it's targeting your damaged cells. It's reducing inflammation. I got up and I was a true believer. This was not voodoo. This is actual scientifically proven to help improve it. And when you can feel it and measure it, that's really cool. And one of the big things we're doing at Upgrade Labs is getting all of your data. We're taking blood work through our Axo Health. We're putting that data into an app. We're taking your wearable data, putting it into an app. Most of these technologies, like our Oxygen Trainer, have measurements so we can show you improvement. And most importantly, Sonia, you might have wanted to go out yesterday and do a triathlon because I motivated you. So you did that, but I want to give you a recommendation today, which is don't work out, go do yoga, and do these 3 recovery things. That's all things we're working on Upgrade Labs.
Well, I'm a huge proponent of recovery too. I'm glad you mentioned that because I saw on your website, you guys have lymphatic massage. Again, another really popular thing, particularly for women in their kind of perimenopausal stages. This is a very hot topic right now. Are you finding that people are leaning more and more into the idea of recovery? Because I still feel like I try to get people to downregulate the nervous system a lot. That's kind of, I feel like, my purpose in life right now. But it's, there's still this kind of conditioning toward active, pushing past, pushing through, doing more, all of that.
Well, I would say if you could get me to recover, I literally worked out 7 days a week. The problem was sometimes I was like, oh, I was just tired, but I never had the data to really understand with the tools I use now. And I guess I'm giving a plug for Garmin accidentally, but I use the Garmin watch. It's giving me sleep data. It's telling me my training readiness score. It's telling me my HRV status. It's telling me sleep and so much more. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I look at it. And if it says my training readiness is in the yellow, and this, by the way, is a lot of coaching from Dave Asprey and all his knowledge that he drops on me. But if it's in the orange, I committed to myself that I'm going to do recovery. And what I found is the next day, rather than laboring through a workout, like you mentioned, people struggle because they stop because it's not fun. It's now fun again because I'm not tired. I'm like, wow, I just PR'd on my 100-meter high intensity interval work. And for me, it's all about results. But I think the data's there now. We're seeing it. People are starting to catch up with you because you were ahead of the curve, obviously discovering the PEMF. And I think we're just getting smarter. So I think there's a huge shift in the recovery space. And what I love about what we're doing and putting together is you don't have to go to 6 different places. You don't have to go spend thousands of dollars. We can give you cardio, strength, recovery, all in the same place with prescriptions. And most importantly, we can show you the data. In fact, the last point that I'm really proud of, we just scrubbed the data from our cell health analysis machine. 350 clients we sampled, average weight loss since their first body scan with Upgrade Labs, they're down an average of 16%.
Wow, that's incredible.
An average of 16 pounds, not 16%.
16 pounds. I mean, that's telling, right? Would you consider yourself a type A personality?
Yes.
Okay. The reason
I would say I'm skilled in shifting my style to connect with different people, like I'm sure you are.
That is so good. I'm going to use that so much. I love that. No, I usually say I'm a recovering type A nowadays, but here's where I'm going with this. Data is so great. Wearable technology, and I used to wear the Whoop, but I started to feel myself become really attached to it. And so if I, was on vacation or the battery died or I was going off on a 10-day silent meditation retreat, so I had to disconnect or unplug, it was like kind of anxiety inducing at a certain point. Is that, where's the fine line, if there is one, in your opinion?
Well, I'm still like you to this point. I have 30 years of data on my Garmin that transfers over to Training Peak. So the first thing is those two companies can never get rid of me because I don't want to lose that data. But I can give you so much specific information on me, and people are shocked. Like, oh, I burn 2,300 calories a day on these workout days. I can break it down. I do think that data's a tool, but ultimately it's also about how you feel and recognizing that, listen, I'm not feeling great today. The watch may say I'm good, but we still got to rely on our instincts. I have to figure out, so I'd turn the question on you, how do I become less reliable on the watch? Because if my watch battery goes dead, I will sit down and wait for charge because I don't want it to miss data. So I think we are coming dependent on it, but I also believe data is great, but it needs to be translated simpler so people can understand it. And if you do that and you use it as guardrails, not the Bible, then I think you'd be okay.
Yeah, I agreed. And also, I think after a certain period of time, kind of like you said, you are more aware and connected to your body. So you can tell if something's off or if you're, ready to go. You've got a lot of energy. And so that was, I think, the goal for me, is to just become so connected that I can rely on the, I guess, intuitive side of me waking up and deciding what kind of workout do I want today, or how do I think I'll perform today before I actually do the thing that I'm going to do. You mentioned your knee, so I wanted to ask, because I saw on your Instagram that you got stem cell therapy on your knee. How did that go for you? What was the experience like? I've done PRP on one knee, but I haven't done stem cell. What are your thoughts?
I did the PRP as well, and I didn't feel a big difference. And please, I'm not looking for followers. My Instagram is, I'm not big on social media, but I go on my social media to get the plug from the doctor in the place that did it in Dubai. They were absolutely amazing. I have a whole video that walks through the whole procedure. It was simple. It's expensive, but they walk you through the whole process. It didn't hurt, but for 3 seconds on a scale 1 to 10, I give it a 3 for one place where they put the needle. So I did another one earlier, and I went back. I didn't recover. And Sonia, like we talked about, I went right back into running. I didn't feel a difference. This one was very strategic. I didn't run for 3 months. I went out, last weekend for the first time since that surgery. I ran 10 miles, and I felt like I was running on a new knee.
Wow.
It works. And I would have said stay away from it, but I can't tell you, I used to run with a hitch because I was favoring it. That hitch is gone. I feel faster and stronger. And to me, it's amazing that it's not more accessible to people, because it is a non-invasive solution, and it worked for me.
Yeah, I mean, this is incredible. And it's less expensive than exosomes. So, I think this is interesting. I trust you, so I hear you, and it makes me want to go out and try it. I said, when I was doing the PRP, I said my goal is to get back to at least just a half marathon. Like, I just want to run. I just want to go out and feel good running again. And so, okay, this kind of satisfied my curiosity. I'm going to have to look into this. I don't think there's a wrong time to do it.
Yeah, no. I think, and Sonia, when are you committing to running this half marathon? Let's start there and back into it with your training, because I also got my running coach certification. So I make sure you commit to your audience that you're going to get your knee rehabbed and we're going to go to the next level. Turn the interview around.
Yeah, this is turning on me fast. Griff, I thought we were friends here. Actually, you know what? I will go on the record saying I have always wanted to do a triathlon, or at least a sprint triathlon. I'm okay with short distance running still. Cycling, fine. Man, that's swimming. It takes a lot to put a cap on and then the goggles and get in the water. I don't know. It's a very high maintenance sport.
Yeah, it's trying to find a pool, and I wasn't the best swimmer, so you got to find people that can help you. And so if you're interested in doing that, I always recommend joining one of the master swim programs. They have college athletes to high school athletes to 80-year-old swimmers that blow my doors off. But yeah, if you're going to start, I mean, start with the recovery and get the right tools before you do anything. Get your body in the right place, and remember, like you said, listen to it.
Yeah, and I mean, the baseline scans that you guys offer too, I read about that on your website. It's so important because, I think I was listening to a Mel Robbins podcast a while back about heading into the new year, and rightfully, she says, look, you got to do an audit of where you came from, because you need to know where you're starting. You can't just set these goals and say, I want to do this, 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 and that, I want to run a half marathon and a triathlon and whatever, without knowing, okay, what baseline am I actually starting with? You will be at CryoCon in Dallas, and I want to know kind of your thoughts around the experience of CryoCon. If you can give us a little teaser, what to expect, and why events or conventions like this do you think are taking off? I think they're becoming more and more popular. More people are gravitating toward the intersection of medicine and technology, or biohacking, as we're now sort of calling it. I've been fascinated with this world for a long time. I don't understand everything. I think there's so much that I just want to keep learning. But I think it's really exciting to have you here in Dallas and being part of that.
Yeah, I have not been to the CryoCon before, so I don't know what to expect. But from these other conferences I have gone to in health and wellness, such a learning environment, talking to like-minded people who share your passion. If you just go for the networking opportunity to meet people, it's amazing the conversations you'll have. I mean, like I said, when I first met these other triathletes being coaches, it's like people share your same values, and they want to help you with your journey wherever you are in that. My talks are going to be sort of about how you can make health and wellness not only a lifestyle, but a business for you. If you're interested in owning a franchise in the health and wellness, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do at Upgrade Labs, how to get involved in that. And I'm looking forward to meeting more people like you and learning from them, because that's how we get 1% better every day.
It's incredible. You just mentioned one of the pillars of meditation, which I teach, and it's called a beginner's mind. So even someone like you so humbly acknowledges there's so much more still to learn. And I always like to acknowledge and appreciate people who are, up here and they're still going, oh, there's so many people I can learn from. Is there anything else that you want to add before I let you go?
I guess I would just say to all the people out there is, think about your recovery, whether you're an athlete or whether you're a gym rat going 7 days a week. If you incorporate covering into this, you're going to reach your goals 10 times faster. It's recovery and nutrition is so much part of all the hard work you put in, and it doesn't have to be hard. Leverage that data, leverage experts, come to CryoCon and talk to these people. You'll learn a lot.
Yeah, I was there last year, and it was incredible, the amount of not just conversations that I got to take part in, but also the speakers were amazing. And then you get to walk around and try all this technology. I mean, I was doing cryo, and then I was doing compression therapy, and then I was doing a salt therapy, salt chamber. So yeah, it was phenomenal. I left there just feeling like I think I slept for like 12 or 15 hours that night. I was just like so relaxed.
It's a playground. This conference, Dave's biohacking conference, they're amazing playgrounds just to test the latest and greatest technology. And you'll find that there's a lot of science behind what they're doing, and this stuff really works.
And let people know where to find you.
Yeah, I think I'm on the agenda somewhere, but I'll be running around. You'll find me on one of those beds testing them out, but I'll be bouncing around, and I'd really love to have anybody come to my sessions, or and just reach out to me. I'm very transparent. It's griff.long@upgradelabs.com. Love to talk to you. If I can help you on your journey, happy to do so.
Amazing. I can't wait to finish this triathlon with your guidance.
Yeah, we didn't put a date on that, but we'll work on the date once we.
I'll email you. All right, Griff. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Great meeting you.
And thank you all for watching The Shift. I'm Sonia Azad. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Today's podcast is sponsored by my good friends at CryoCon. CryoCon, powered by Next Wellness, is a 3-day live event where wellness business entrepreneurs and store and clinic owners come to master their wellness business and life. Learn about the latest cutting-edge equipment, technology, products, and strategies from globally recognized speakers and experts. Get your tickets at www.cryoconvention.com and join us April 3rd through 5th in Dallas, Texas. And don't forget about our friends at Glam House Collective. Let's get glam.